they changed a few things and forgot to tell us. We haven't done a live in a while, so yeah, they changed a few things while we were gone. How's everybody doing? Hope you're doing good. We are in Thailand, and there is, let's see, if you're on the East Coast, there is a, 13-hour difference?
Yeah, so it is 10 p.m. here, 11 a.m. Eastern time. So that's why you can see out the back. It is nighttime.
It's
nighttime. We are live, but happy to be coming to you from Thailand. Answer some of your Amtrak questions, and we're going to go over some Amtrak coach tips and other things. So
yes,
very excited to be back doing this.
So we've been here in Thailand for 4 weeks. Yes,
Yeah,
almost 4 weeks, and we just went to immigration and applied for visa extension, so we're here for another 30 days before we move on to our next spot. So we're looking forward to the next spot as well. It's a country we've been to before, but it's been a little while since we've been there, so we're looking forward to being back there. So we've got lots for you today. We're gonna be talking about coach class tips. A lot of people ask us about those. We do a lot of sleeper train videos, don't do enough coach class videos. So we're going to share some of our best tips for that today, and just give you a little update on what we're doing as far as our travel and some other things we've had in the hopper now that we're back together again.
Yeah. And answer all your questions. So feel free to just start putting those in the chat whenever you have one. Say hello, and we are excited to be back here with you.
That's right. So yes, good morning to you guys, but good evening to us.
Yes, good morning to you. Good evening to us. It is almost bedtime. So and we're in an apartment here in Thailand, and if you're curious about our apartment, Ali has an apartment tour on the channel Travel Thailand with Ali.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a really nice condo here. You might want to come see it. We're loving it here. So
yeah, you can actually see the hot tub right there. That's out on the balcony, and it overlooks the beach, which is on that side. So it's really quite a fun little treat to have that out there.
Yeah. So if you want to see that, go check that out. But let's jump into some Amtrak tips here for Coach Class. We get tons of questions on Coach, and Coach is a great way to go. You can definitely save a lot of money. So the first tip that we have is to have a food plan when you're riding in Coach, for sure.
Yes. Well, there's a couple reasons for that. The first reason is that every once in a while there are issues with the cafe. Either they don't have enough food put on in different stops, or say the one time we were on and the credit card machine was not working and they weren't accepting cash. So there was no way to purchase the food. So we were kind of up a creek. And then the other reason is because if you're on it for a long time, there's very limited choices. So you are going to get tired of eating the same thing over and over. So definitely bring some snacks with you. And especially if you have dietary restrictions, you're going to definitely want to bring some different options with you.
Yeah, we generally find that at most of the big stations like Chicago or New Orleans, we've done at LA, any of those big stations, there's going to be something in the station like a Chick-fil-A or a Subway. We grab that for our first meal, basically on the train. That gives us one hot meal. Sometimes we bring a sub that we can eat later for a second meal. And then if it's later in the day or the next day, then we'd start diving into the Amtrak, cafe card, because then it's not super repetitive. You don't feel like you've eaten the same cheeseburger 4 meals in a row.
Mm-hmm. You can only eat so many hot dogs, hamburgers, mac and cheese, and pizza.
Yeah. So welcome everybody. See a lot more of you coming in here. Just want to say welcome to you. It's been a while since we've been here. So.
I know. We've had such crazy travel schedule. You guys probably have seen that we were on cruise ships for 45 days in a row, and You know, we've been traveling around Asia, and at one point we were separated for 2 weeks in 2 different countries. So we're finally back together again and able to do some lives, and we don't mind staying up a little bit late. It is 10 p.m. here in Thailand.
Yeah, it's a good time for us to do it, though.
Yeah.
Next tip we have for Coach Class has to do with the electronics that you're going to be having and the outlets. So if you haven't been a coach or haven't seen, there is 2 outlets for power on the wall, and then that serves both of the 2 people in the seats. So one person will be right next to the 2. One person will have to like string something across the other person. Hopefully you know them, or you can put it under their feet. But generally, one outlet is not enough for a lot of people, so we have a couple ways around that. I was going to show you what those are.
The first one is, if you do not know the person, I have this portable charger, and it's awesome. I'm actually charging my phone, which I am recording this with. So you've got 2 USBs and 1 USB-C. And this also has a flashlight on it, which is really nice. And what I love about it is that it also tells you the percentage here of how much battery this has left. You can actually charge, this charges 13 hours worth. So you can charge, we usually charge like both of our phones if we have to on a flight maybe that doesn't have a way of charging things. So that's one way of doing it. The other thing that we've done in Coach is, everybody knows our third wheel, and that's this guy right here. This thing is always with us at all times. As a matter of fact, we have a second one now because we overused the other one. It's actually loaded with a bunch of stuff in the bedroom by my nightstand. This is the one that Rob carries with him. It's the same thing, but it's universal. You can use it everywhere. We have yet to not be able to use it in any country and in any place. And what's great about this on the trains is that you can charge, as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you can still use this one. So 5 things off of this. And so when we're on the trains, we're usually charging more than just our phones, sometimes tablets, sometimes the GoPro, all kinds of stuff. So this guy is fabulous. Links are down below. We actually have a page on our website, groundedlifetravel.com, where we share everything that we use. There is a link in the description for that, so you can click on that later and check that out for both of those items.
Yeah, sometimes charging the GoPro turns into always charging the GoPro. And those batteries only last like 25 minutes, so you have to have one of those if you're doing GoPro. Let's see, photography by Brian is in the chat. Let's see, I'll be riding Coach from Alabama to Philly, New York, and DC for a travel photography trip. That sounds awesome.
Ooh, that sounds like a lot of fun.
I would love. Are you doing photography in New York City and DC? We just did some photography in New York City. Had a great time. Something we'd been wanting to do for years, and we finally took the time to do it, and it was totally worth it.
Oh, it was so much fun.
So,
and I wasn't even taking the pictures. I was just taking the behind-the-scenes pictures of him taking the pictures.
We went to a lot of places you'd always wanted to go, though, like the Brooklyn Bridge and all that.
Yeah, lots of fun stuff.
Yeah, they've really improved that area for photography at night, which is really a great time. Let's see. Next tip for Coach Class is going to be that if you're on a train with an observation car, Coach Class does have access to that the whole time. So it's not just for a sleeper.
Yeah, I think a lot of times Coach Class passengers don't realize that they have access to it. They'll go back there to go, you know, to like the snack bar or the cafe, and not realize, oh, I can stay here, and you know, there's tables you can sit and eat, or there's chairs where you can sit and they're facing the windows and you can look out and enjoy the view. You can use either of them and you have access to them, like Rob said, the whole ride.
Yeah. Got a question here from Melinda. Good question. What is the best train to see fall foliage? And that's got to be the Vermonter. That is basically made for that, and it goes right up to the heart of where that most people go to see that. So if you're gonna want to see it, I would pick the Vermonter.
Yeah, for sure, and definitely make sure that you get your ticket as soon as you know when you want to go. When you think you know the leaves will be turning and looking their best, definitely get your ticket early, because those sell out quickly and the price goes up the faster it sells out.
Hey, and Maurice is in the chat.
Maurice,
welcome.
Yay!
Long time since we have talk to you.
Yeah, oh yeah, and sorry, Maurice, but we don't have access to our US SIM card, so we don't get text, so email us if you want to send us anything.
Yeah.
That message is just for Maurice.
Yeah, we are in Thailand, if you didn't catch the first part of that. So SIM card's not working. And he says, yeah, they're down east. Maurice is is an Amtrak conductor, so he knows.
And our good friend.
And our good friend, yeah. I also like the California Zephyr for the fall colors. It was, once you get to the West Coast, I think it does get pretty good.
Especially through Colorado. It was really beautiful. We actually did a trip through about that time of the year through there, and we did get to see some beautiful foliage through there.
Yeah, we did. So the next thing we wanted to talk about was the best coach trips for like a beginner. So like if you've never been on Amtrak, kind of ones that we think are good to start with. And actually this was, I think, the first trip we ever did, and it kind of sold us on it. We're from Atlanta, and we decided to do Atlanta to New Orleans, and that was an amazing trip. Part of the reason is if it's your first Amtrak trip, you want to pick trips that have good starting and ending times. And so like the Atlanta to New Orleans trip starts in the morning, you get into New Orleans in the evening. Easy. You don't have to sleep and coach on the train just to make that trip.
Yeah.
Which is a little more of a commitment. So I think that one, and also Coast Starlight, why is that one good, you think?
Well, both of those I love. Yes, I do like the length on that, Atlanta to New Orleans, but also the views as you're gliding over Lake Pontchartrain there, as you're making your way into New Orleans, is absolutely gorgeous, because it's usually close to sunset time, so it's really pretty. And then, of course, the Coast Starlight on the West Coast is gorgeous. If you haven't seen our videos here of the Coast Starlight on the channel, you gotta check those out because it's absolutely beautiful. Also, and you can do just short pieces of the Coast Starlight in coach, and you don't have to do an overnight on that one either if you don't want to.
Let's see, David's got a big trip coming up. Coast Starlight, Seattle, LA to Houston, to New Orleans, and then on the city of New Orleans, I believe, to Chicago, and then back to Everett, Washington on the Empire Builder. That's just like a big,
like a
square.
circle-ish.
Yes, big like square circle.
Maybe rhomboid. I don't know what you call that. Sorry, I forgot my geometry.
That's an awesome trip. We haven't quite done that one. We've done something pretty similar.
Yeah, that sounds like a really fun trip.
Are you going to be riding in coach, like on the rail pass for that? That is quite an adventure.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
So let's see. Could I travel overnight in coach with a CPAP machine? We have seen it done. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can plug them into the side there.
Let's see. Took the Southwest Chief from Fullerton, California to Chicago. Yeah, that was one of the last ones that we just did, was the Southwest Chief. We like the Southwest Chief. It is quite scenic. I don't think quite as scenic as the Zephyr, but it is pretty scenic too.
Well, it does go along, quite a big chunk of Route 66, which we love. So that's one of the reasons I think why we like the Southwest Chief.
Yeah. Another tip that we've got for coach, kind of get into some of our other tips here, is to definitely have one small bag for all of your valuables. And that is just something that we cannot stress enough. You get up, you want to walk around the train, and just take that bag with you. You can leave the other stuff. You can leave your food bag. You can leave, we usually have a bag with some food in it. Just leave that at the seat, but don't leave, your passport, your phone, your wallet sitting there. And
your electronics, nothing. If you have valuables, have one bag that you keep all of those in, and always take those with you to the bathroom, to the cafe, observation car, wherever you're going. If you're going on, if you're doing a fresh air break, whatever it is, make sure it's a manageable size bag, bring it with you, and you'll be happy that you did.
Yeah, Kathleen has a question about getting two roomettes across from one another on the Zephyr. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. The question is, would you rather do that or the bedroom? I would probably rather do the bedroom than the two roomettes, but that's because I totally don't mind sleeping on the top bunk. If one of you does not want to sleep up there, though, then you definitely should do the two roomettes. And the way that you get the two roomettes, across the hall from each other is just to call 1-800-USA-RAIL, and they will set that up for you. The other advantage is that you will definitely be able to guarantee yourself being able to see out of both sides of the train if you do the 2 roomettes. Again, for us, since we've been on the Zephyr many times, I think both sides are pretty good. I'm willing to roll the dice, go to the observation car if I need to. But if you don't want to sleep up top, I think 2 roomettes may be better. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. That's the way to go.
Are there any Amtrak routes we haven't been on? They want to know.
Oh gosh, they're like
Quite a few.
Yeah, it'd be ones like the
Heartland Flyer.
Yeah, like the Illinois Zephyr, like ones like that are ones that we haven't been on.
Small ones. We've been on all the sleeper routes.
Yeah, all the sleeper routes we've done multiple times, and then we've done ones like the Hiawatha, Ethan Allen, like ones like that, or like Cascades and Maple Leaf. But there are other little ones that we haven't done in between.
Yeah,
I'd say maybe around 10.
Probably.
10-ish or so of the routes that we haven't done yet on Amtrak. So we do have a few.
There's 40 some routes, so yeah, we've probably not done.
Yeah, about 10 of them we haven't done.
10 of them. Yeah, so David is riding this whole around the country trip in coach, and he got it all with reward points.
Oh, wow.
So it's free.
Awesome.
And that's
Nothing
awesome.
is better than that.
Yeah.
You cannot beat that. That is awesome.
That's a good job right there.
Yeah.
If you're watching this, you don't have your Amtrak guest rewards signed up for, yeah, give them a little tip on that because it's totally worth doing.
Yeah, it really makes a huge difference. Not only do you get to take free rides, I mean, we had so many points that we went from Los Angeles to Chicago on the Texas Eagle in a bedroom, which is probably one of the most expensive rides, those two things together, completely free from points. And we had the Amtrak Guest Rewards MasterCard, and we just, you get a lot more points that way. But if you don't want to get the card, you can just sign up for the Guest Rewards, and you just get miles for every time you ride the train. You get miles for it. But if you have the card, you get a lot more points, and you earn those way quicker. And you can get that information also on our website, on that link that's down in the description. Things that we use, the link should be in there as well.
Yeah, so Maurice is saying that the Lakeshore should get full service dining. I agree.
Ooh, yes.
He's not saying it is.
I
He's
think
saying
so.
It should.
I agree, Maurice.
I agree.
It should.
It definitely
Yeah.
is.
It's time.
What amazing views do you see on the Zephyr that you don't see on the South of the Chief? What's the difference between those?
The big difference is that you don't get to see the gorges in Colorado, and that's probably the biggest difference between those two. You see a lot, you get to see the deserts and all the different types of terrains that, coming across the Midwest and then on the other side. But some of the views that you get on the California Zephyr, kind of raise the level a little bit on it. I mean, going over Donner Pass and down, through Truckee and into California. And it's really quite lovely getting onto that other side. So I think that's the main difference there between those two, the views.
Yeah, I think
if you're trying to choose between the two, that's what you're missing out on.
It is better. It is prettier. It is definitely, I think, the best route in the country. Mm-hmm. So it's the one to pick if you're only going to do one. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do agree. The food, the dining is a little expensive if you are just paying for it. We haven't done that recently, but if you want to do it once while you're on the train and you're in coach, I would definitely go ahead and do it, especially since you got your whole trip for free. Mm-hmm. So it would be worth it to do that.
Yeah, but I will tell you what is that you're better off waiting to get it for dinner instead of doing breakfast or lunch, because you're going to get a way better meal at dinner time over the other two meals.
Yeah,
that's just my opinion.
Oh, he says 45 for dinner now. They've raised that.
Oh, that did go up.
That is pretty steep. Yeah.
Yeah. The last time we were on, it was
less.
I want to say it was about 36, if I'm thinking right. I could be wrong though.
Yeah.
so don't quote me. Don't go on Amtrak and say, well, Allie said. I said nothing.
Yeah, we our longest coach ride was we did the Sunset Limited in coach, and we slept in coach. And it wasn't that bad because we flew here to Thailand. If you're just joining and you see out the window, it is nighttime. We are in Thailand. It is 24 hours to fly to Thailand, and the seats are so close. It's just horrible. It's horrible. It's the worst experience you could have flying that long on a plane. And so when I think about being in Amtrak Coach for 24, 36 hours, it's like
piece of cake.
It's a dream. It's like being in first class.
The seats are way more comfortable on Amtrak than on an airplane, for starters. And then on top of that, the seats are wider, and you can put your feet up, and you can recline and not bother the person behind you. I mean, there's just so many advantages to it that just in coach alone. It's way, I think it's a million times better than on an airplane.
But at the end of the day, you're still sleeping somewhat sitting up 1 or 2 nights, and we just, have a hard time sleeping. Depends on the person. If you're easy to go to sleep, it's probably going to be great for you. But if you have a hard time sleeping, that's why we just kind of do it one night, and then we would get off the train, wait a few days. If we're going to try to do 2 nights, then we'll sleep in a hotel, then get back on and go the rest of the way. Because when we try to do 2 nights, we find that the second night is a little bit harder than the first.
Yeah, if you another good tip is also make sure you bring noise canceling, either earbuds or headphones, whatever you like to use, because the thing is, in the middle of the night, people are still getting on and off the train, and as many times as the staff tell people to, kind of keep in mind that other people are sleeping, they're still going to make a little bit of noise. Even if they're trying to be quiet, there's still going to be commotion with the train starting and stopping. You'll hear people getting on, people getting off, putting their bags overhead, those types of things. So just bring something with you, maybe even an eye mask, and you'll be good to go.
Maurice is saying that the Adirondack is also a great
Ooh, yes,
route.
That's true.
Yeah,
that is a great one, Maurice. Thank you.
Which one is more comfortable, Viewliner or Superliner for sleeping?
For sleeping in a sleeper?
Sleeper car, yeah.
Oh, sleeper car? I think the Viewliner probably. And it doesn't make a difference for the person on the bottom if you're talking about a roomette. It doesn't make any difference whatsoever for me, who always sleeps on the bottom, but it makes a huge difference for the person sleeping on the top, which is Rob, because in a Superliner, you're gonna have a lot less room between you and the bed, and you don't have windows. On the Viewliner, you've got the 2 nice big windows up top. You have way more space. Plus, I love the way the bed slides up and pulls down. It's way more out of the way than on a Superliner as well.
Yeah, and I think, as far as the routes, the tracks, we really don't notice a difference. Like a lot of times people will say, oh, I don't like this route because it's too bumpy. I don't notice. I mean, they're all a little bumpy, but obviously it's a train, but I don't notice any of them being more bumpy. I think we sleep fine on basically any route, yeah?
Yeah, I think so. I can't think of any that are like, oh, that was so bumpy. I can't really think of any.
Yeah, it's way better for us than flying and way better than driving. We just did a video this week that had a lot of our driving trips in it because of trains that got canceled and so forth. But yeah, I think the train is definitely our best way to go. Do you combine plane and train together on your trips?
We do.
Sometimes.
Well, obviously we did when we went to Europe. We did do a little bit of flying in between. Sometimes we also connect ships as well. We try to use those as a lot of modes of transportation. Usually we try to stay on the ground, thus grounded life travel. We try to stay close to the ground. So we try to stay on the trains or on a cruise ship. But obviously we'll fly, but it's not our preferred method of moving from place to place.
Yeah. What's the best food stop near the train station during a rest stop? So they're all different, and most of the time you will not have time to go get food at the when you get off the train. But there are very few stations where they will let you, and they will tell you, "Hey, this is a stop. You can run into town,
Right.
go get food."
Yeah, a couple of them are, well, one of them is it Grand Junction? It's Grand Junction, right? Where they have, there's like a little shop right out on the platform, basically, where you can run in and grab something. The other place is in Albuquerque, where usually it's a longer stop and you can run and go get something. But again, it depends on when your train is there. If you're running a little behind or whatever, you might not have as much time. So make sure that you listen to the conductor's announcements, because they're the ones who know exactly when you need to be back on the train. So I've seen people get left behind trying to go to the store to get snacks. So make sure that you know what time, how much time you have, and how far to get somewhere.
Yeah, in Orlando, for instance, there's a hot dog vendor right on the
platform.
So
Yeah, people
good.
go rushing off of there. Oh, and like, where's the other one? Is it El Paso? There's the burrito
Yeah,
lady.
El
Is that the
Paso.
right one? Yeah. And she's right on the platform. You have your money ready real quick, and everybody goes flying off the train to go get those yummy burritos.
Now I have seen, we were on the California Zephyr. We have seen it get to a stop, and I have seen the attendant get off the train and sprint at a full sprint down the street, get something, sprint back, and he made it. So that was pretty cool. But not recommended.
And apparently the train will not wait for the attendant either. So.
Just wanted to take a moment here to let you guys know too that we do have a new channel that was just started a few months ago. It's called Grounded Life Finances, and we get a ton of questions on our Amtrak videos about our finances and how we pay for the trains, how we do all this and that. And so we started a channel to answer those questions, because we really can't or don't really want to talk about that stuff on the Amtrak channel, on the train channel. So if you're interested in that, just know that there is a whole section or whole channel where we go in depth into not only our finances, but the points and the credit cards we use and the stocks that we buy, everything to do with finances.
And just like our travel lifestyle, full-time travel, all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff, all bundled up into one channel. So the link for that is down below as well.
Yeah. Have you ever had to take a bus for any segments?
Yes, we have. As a matter of fact, if you saw the video on Friday, you would know that the answer to that question is yes. So in that video, the train tracks, we were going from St. Louis to Kansas City, and the train tracks were completely flooded, like you couldn't see them. So the morning of our ride, we showed up to the train station to check in, and she said, "Oh, that train is canceled. We got you guys on a bus." So they put us on a bus and shipped us off. So it took, I think, about the same amount of time in the bus than it was going to take in the train. So that was fine, but obviously not what we were expecting.
Yeah, and we didn't really have food with us.
No, that was the other problem.
So,
because
yeah.
we weren't expecting it when we got there.
Let's see. Hole in the Roof says we convinced him and 3 of their friends to go on a trip this summer. 42 hours of fun.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's awesome. Actually,
Yay.
I'm not sure if it's a him or a her. So 4 people on a train. We've never gone with like our
Yeah.
acquaintances and friends.
Except for family. We've traveled
taken
with our
family.
parents.
Yeah, we've done our parents, but
Took my dad on the auto train, and we took your parents. Where did we take them? Oh, we took them on the Crescent
Washington, D.C.
to DC. Yes.
Yeah. What is a good email to send Amtrak a complaint? I don't think you should send it by email. I don't
Yeah.
think they would get that. We always call 1-800-USA Rail. Is that what you
Yeah.
do?
Yes, that's what I would do, and they will put you through the department that you would file the complaint with, and then they'll take that information down. I think email would be probably completely overlooked.
Yeah. David says Silver Street Market, Albuquerque. Are you referring to the kind of the vendors that are
think
out
so.
there?
Yeah, either that or the shop. I don't know what that area is
There's
called.
a lot
Where that
to
little
see right
grocery
there in
store is.
Albuquerque.
Yeah, there is a lot right there.
Tom says I got good food from LA Union Station Market prior to boarding.
Yeah,
Not
you're
the
right.
best food, but food.
That is true. They do also have, they have that little market, but they also have like, I think a Subway and maybe a Starbucks there. I'm trying to think what else. There's not a ton, but there are some things. Like you said, it's not the best, but it's food. It's better than nothing.
Let's see. The Foxy Bee says, going on the Zephyr on Thursday with her mom, who is 80. Can we get help for her from the station to the train?
Yes, it's Red Cap service and it's completely free. Just let them know when you get there that you need Red Cap service for your mom, and they will take care of that for you.
Yeah, and depending on your if it's one of the terminus stations, especially like Emeryville or Chicago, not every little station has Red Cap.
Right. But just about just let them know when you get there.
Yeah.
They'll do their best to get someone to help you.
They will, in our experience, the Amtrak staff is among the finest in the travel industry. They'll go way above and beyond what an airline would do to help you. So, how often are there long delays in your experience?
On the train?
Long delays.
Long delays. Maybe I don't know.
Not that long, not that often. Probably
I don't know how to do that numerically.
Let's see. We've probably only had, if we're talking, let's say 10 hours or more, that's only happened to us twice. So that's not that much. Short delays, like if you're talking about
like
an hour
or two,
that happens pretty frequently. But long ones where it's like you're missing meals or missing hotels or getting in the wrong day, that's got to be something pretty that's usually either a natural disaster, engine failure. That's basically only two things. Yeah, one time we were
derailment or big accident.
I think we were on the Sunset Limited of the Texas Eagle, and the engine kind of broke down, but we were like in the middle of the desert, so they couldn't get to us. And by the time they got to us, the staff had timed out. They couldn't drive the train anymore, so they had to helicopter new staff in because we were just out in this remote area. So even though they had the engine fixed and the staff were ready to go, they legally couldn't drive the train after so many hours. So that constituted a pretty long delay.
That was a wild one.
And we went to sleep and we woke up the next day and we were in the same place. So I was like,
why are we not moving? We're still in the desert.
Why is my phone not updating here? It's like it still says I'm in Texas.
We're still here.
And then we're like, we are in Texas. So that can happen.
Yeah, it happens.
It's not all that awesome often. Jill says Red Cap is awesome. Yeah, they are. They are pretty good.
They do a really good job.
Let's see. Maurice says they can only work 12 hours.
There you go.
So there you go. If you have a breakdown in a really remote area, that is going to take care of it.
It's an unsafe situation for everybody. I don't really want them overworking their hours. It's the same thing. It's probably happened to some of you. I know it's happened to us with pilots and flight crew as well, where, there's weather, whatever, and delays, and then the next thing you know, they can't fly because they've timed out. It happens for a reason. It's for your safety. So, you just kind of have to understand the situation.
Yeah, I'm trying to catch up these questions. Ooh. It jumps, but I'm seeing some. Hello, question from someone in Australia. If you buy a ticket for, say, 10 stops, can you stay a few days in each stop? So I think you'll find Amtrak works completely different than any other country as far as the train goes. So it's not like a hop on, hop off. You can stay. You could go like from Chicago to Minneapolis, but when you get off the train, when you go to get back on it a day or two later, you have to have a new ticket. So it's going to be a new ticket every time you get on and off.
So if you bought the rail pass for the 10 segments, every time you complete one trip, like from one location to another location and get off, that's one segment. Then you get it back on and then get off at a different location, that's another segment. So what you want to do to maximize your money on one like that, I think kind of like what David is doing, is you want to extend it and use the longest, possible segment that you can make, which is usually terminus to terminus for the trains, especially if you're doing the ones across the country. So I would shoot for longer segments, and you're going to get more bang for your buck.
Yeah, exactly. Have you ridden any trains in Thailand yet?
I've been on the Maeklong Market
yeah.
train, and that's the one. If you haven't seen it, I did a video on that on my Travel Thailand with Allie channel. There's a link for it down below. You can go check that out. This train is unbelievable. So you hop on this train, and they're all pretty much older trains here in Thailand. You hop on the train and you go through this market, and this market is out there. It's not just a tourist attraction. This is like they actually are using this market. You have got to see this. They pull the umbrellas back as the train is coming through. And then when the train goes through, they put the umbrellas right back and they bring out all their products again. And literally, here's the track, and food is sitting on little, crates and stuff like here on the track. The train literally goes right over, just barely clearing like the lettuce that you're about to buy. It's absolutely insane. Go check that out when we're done here. Travel Thailand with Asia. The link is down in the description. It's pretty wild.
We also have been on the train that goes on the bridge over the River Kwai.
The death train.
The death train. So that is also... I think that's actually on this channel many years ago.
Yes, I think so, from a
many
long
years
time ago. You have to go way back.
Let's see. People are telling me that someone has it. Legay Ames has a good question. So let's see what it is.
Let's see.
When you get 2 roommates, how do you tip the attendant? I would probably just tip them double what I normally would, because it's kind of twice the work of making up the beds and so forth. So I would do that. And tipping reminder, give us a little rundown on the tipping reminder while I look at the questions.
Tipping reminder for your attendant, we usually do at least $5 per person per night. And we give the attendant that tip at the end because that's the last person you're going to see. He or she is going to greet you at the door. Sometimes they'll help you with your bags. Those that need it, they'll help you bring your bags downstairs if you're upstairs, or help you get them off the train if it's a tricky platform. So that's the last person you'll see when you get off the train. So you can tip them then. And then in the dining room, we started doing the tip just at the end of that day, but as the last couple of years, we've been tipping at each meal because they've been kind of the staff has grown a little bit in the last couple of years in the dining car, and you don't always get the same attendant. So you want to make sure that you tip, the person who has helped you. So we usually tip them after each meal.
Yeah. So Photography by Brian wants to plan a travel pass trip where you do get off for 1 or 2 stops. Add some interesting points along the way. And we did do that a few years ago. And we've been working on this video for some time. Actually, we finished it today. So it's going to be coming up in a few weeks on the channel. And what we ended up doing, I'll give you a sneak peek of what the video is going to be. Should I tell them where we went on the video?
Sure.
Sure.
Tell them.
So we started
But keep it a secret. Don't tell anybody else.
Yeah, we started in, Los Angeles. And we got on the Southwest Chief, like our commenter from Australia was saying, and we took it to Flagstaff. We got off in Flagstaff, rented a car, and did the Grand Canyon, Petrified Forest National Park,
and a couple of Route 66 stops.
And there's some amazing places right there where you can do some astrophotography. So if you're into that at all, that's where you get off to do that. Then we got back on the train and got off in Albuquerque, because we wanted to go to Great Sand Dunes National Park in Colorado, and that's probably the closest place you can get to where you have a car. If you're going to do this, you can't just go to the closest station. You have to go to the closest station where you can rent a car. So that was Albuquerque. Again, we were like in an astrophotography phase because we went there for that. I think I just got a new camera.
He did. You get like a special lens and this little contraption, I don't know, that went on the tripod. He had a whole thing.
Yeah, so then we got back on in Albuquerque and went to Chicago and then rode the Texas Eagle all the way back. But we got off in St. Louis and we got off in Tucson to go see Saguaro National Park. And so that was it. So
And
it
then
was
finished up in Death Valley. In Los Angeles and went to Death Valley.
So here's the deal with that though. It's not, because if the Southwest Chief, let's say it's $1,500 for the Southwest Chief in a roomette. If you get off twice and you do it 3 times, it's not going to be 500, 500, 500. It's going to be more like 1,000, 1,000, 1,000. So to get off is extremely more expensive than to just do the whole route. So the way you get around that is whenever you're going just not the whole way, it's not that bad if you're doing it in coach. It's not as exorbitant. Mm-hmm. But like if you're going like from the first stop we got off in Flagstaff to this next stop we got off in Albuquerque was only like 6 hours. So you definitely just want to do that in coach because you don't want to take up roomettes. So you really have to be kind of strategic and get some of your stops where you can go coach, and then maybe just do one long roomette at the end if you're going to do that. If you're going to do coach the whole way, it'll probably work out just fine for you.
Yeah.
Because yes, Jackie was asking, do you have to buy another ticket? Yeah, you do need a new ticket every time you're going to get back on, which is why we normally go the whole way,
right?
To the terminus, because then it's just that's the cheapest way to do it.
Yeah.
But you do get sick of just going to Chicago.
Even though our son lives there and we get to visit him.
Let's see. Have you thought of taking a trip with Amtrak from Seattle to Bellingham to take the ferry to Alaska? That's a new bucket list addition for me.
Yeah, we were actually just talking about Alaska today.
We were
thinking about going up there and doing some pictures for next year. We're into next year's travel planning already.
We're thinking about next year. And we're thinking about Canada. We're thinking about Alaska. Did you know, I just read an article that next fall is supposed to be the best year for the Northern Lights in the last 20 years. So,
including quite a bit of the U.S. is going to be able to see them that either isn't normally able to see them or doesn't see them as well as they're going to be showing next fall. So keep that in mind for your travel planning.
Yeah, so think about maybe the Empire Builder going to Glacier or something like that.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
One here I missed, GF Sampson. Thank you for your comment. They say your YouTube channel helped us many months ago prepare for our first cross-country ride. It was so nice. We are hooked on Amtrak. Keep the videos coming.
Yay. Thank you.
Isn't your bedtime over there? It's getting close.
It is. My bedtime is when we started this video.
It is 10:42 p.m.
Yeah, 10:40 something. I had extra coffee this afternoon so I could stay awake.
Let's see. Nutty to you must have seen a lot of our videos, because if you go back to Alaska, maybe Rob will find his old baseball cap.
You are a super fan then, because you know exactly what happened in Alaska.
Yeah, I was just watching an old video and I saw that hat and I was like, it is too bad.
He really did love that hat. That hat started this entire journey with us, full-time travel like 6 years ago. That hat was with us, so yeah. It was quite a loss. And you almost replaced it when we were at the Hockey Hall of Fame in Toronto last year. Yeah, you almost replaced it because they had a similar one, but it wasn't as nice as that one that you had.
No, now
it's a bummer.
I have an Orioles hat. And so the thing was, when I had the Expos hat, like tons of people would stop me and say, "Oh, Expos hat! I love the Expos. That's great." Now nobody mentions the Orioles hat unless they're from Baltimore, and they'll always say, "Oh, you're from Baltimore?" I'm like, "No, I'm not from Baltimore. I'm from Atlanta." And they're like, "Why do you have an Orioles hat?" I don't know. I just do. So, it is not as good as the Expos hat.
Rob's hats and sports shirts are always the subject of much conversation everywhere we go.
Let's see. The ferry does look unique. Yeah, we've been talking about doing the Alaska to Canada highway. We did do the Alaska trains. Those were also pretty fun. Well, that's where the hat flew off. So.
But those were really great train rides. Yeah, we love Alaska. We need to go back again. We've done it by train, by cruise. Now we need to drive it.
Someone wants to know where we are. We're in Thailand right now. So yeah.
That's why it's dark outside.
Hello from India.
Hey.
Just a big thanks. I did a whole 30-day U.S. tour, USA Rail Pass, starting in Emeryville to Chicago, and then on the Lakeshore Limited.
Wow.
Wow, the whole country. That's awesome.
That's awesome.
We're actually thinking about coming to visit you in India next year. We were supposed to go in 2020. We had a visa, and it got canceled.
And then that visa was canceled.
But we
For
are
obvious
thinking
reasons.
about going in 2024 to ride the trains. So we'll see. We're trying to figure it out.
Yeah, we're trying to see where we can fit it in so
We
we can
have
get
a
over there. We've
lot
been
of-
wanting to do it for a while, obviously.
Yeah, we have a lot of ideas about that. So if you have any questions, lay them out there now. We'll do like a little speed round.
Yeah, and before we go to, we also have, I don't know if you guys noticed, we got a couple new things that you'll see on the channel, especially when you're watching the videos. A couple of things you'll see is on this channel and on the Grounded Life Finances channel, we do have memberships now. A lot of people ask us all the time, like, oh, we'd love to support you guys, whatever. We've got those memberships up there now, but you also get some perks with those. You get priority answering on your questions and all that kind of stuff. So if you guys want to sign up for that, you can do that by clicking sign up. I think, is it sign up or join? Join. It says join, click on that, and then you can see what tier you want to do. And then the same thing on Grounded Life Finances. We've got some different memberships there as well if you want to sign up for something like that. And finally, we have been asked 1 million times if we're going to have merchandise, and we do now, yay, with our Grounded Life Travel logo on it. So you guys can purchase that, and if you purchase it and you wear it, or you buy it and gift it to somebody, make sure you post a picture and tag us so that we can see it and we can share it.
And we don't have any though because they don't ship to Thailand yet. So I don't think. So I have this shirt. Anybody know trivia what this stands for? This is my newest shirt.
It represents a team.
Represents a team.
Which
That's
team?
Trivia. Do you know? If you know what that is, put it in the comments if you're watching this later on. But I'll give you the answer just in a few minutes here.
Ooh, it's gonna make you wait.
Let's see. Matt says, thank you both for your help and advice. Taking a lot of trains. Oh, wow. Photography by Brian. Welcome to business class. Thank you. He is now a member.
Photography by Brian.
So if you are a member, your messages in these chats will show up with a little blue train icon next to your name. So that is awesome.
Yeah, the color of the train differs depending on which level you sign up for.
So yeah, thank you for that. That's
Welcome.
awesome. Yeah. V-Rail berth bed good. Let's see. We like the berth bed. Are you talking about the upper lower?
Upper lower versus like a cabin for one or two. Honestly, we have a review actually coming up and showing you a video of all of the different classes because we've done all of them basically except for a couple of them, but we'll show you those anyways in the video. So we've got a video of all of those, but we certainly will tell you ahead of time. Again, you're privy to this information, don't tell other people, but we think that the upper lower berth is probably the best bang for your buck on Via Rail.
Yeah, the cabin for two is, I saw someone earlier in the chat say, well, if you can afford the cabin for two, it's pretty expensive.
Yeah.
But the upper lower is quite a savings. You get the same meals, you get the same access to all the cars.
Yep.
Like the dome car, the park car. Basically, it's just a sleeping, and they're pretty wide because in an Amtrak roomette you have your bed, and then you have like a little space to stand, and then you have a door. On Via Rail, the bed goes all the way, and you can't stand in there. You have to basically get dressed like laying down or in the hallway or in the bathroom.
In the bathroom, especially the women's bathroom has like a dressing area, and you can get dressed in the
What?
men's bathroom also.
We don't have a dressing
Yeah.
area.
Ooh.
So yeah, the bed is actually a lot wider on Via Rail than the roomette. So
Yeah,
I think
and
it's
it was
good.
actually quite comfortable. It was nice.
Yeah, it's we got a Bruins fan here. Can't wait for the Via Rail train review. It's almost hockey season.
Yeah. Yeah, that was going to be a good video. You'll see all the different rooms on there. And if we do have some videos already from our rides on Via Rail, so if you haven't seen those, you can check those out while you're waiting for the video to go live.
Yeah. Well, I think that is going to about wrap it up. If there are no more questions, it is bedtime here. Oh, the answer to this is the shirt for the Yomiuri Giants, which is a baseball team in Tokyo, Japan. And it was, I think after all the games we went to, it's my new favorite team there. Even though it's like they say it's like liking the Yankees. It's like kind of the big team.
Like the tourist team that people...
Yeah.
That was the one... We went to a lot of baseball games when we were in Japan. Again, you can check all those videos out on Travel Asia with Allie. That link is down below also. But we went to a lot of baseball games. As if you probably don't know, if you don't already know us, you know that we love baseball. We both do. And so one of the reasons why we went specifically to Japan was to go see baseball games. And there were almost no foreigners at the baseball games, except for when we went to go see the Yomiuri Giants. We saw tons of foreigners. So that was really super interesting. It's like you said, it's like going to see the Yankees in New York. You see a lot more people, tourist visitors.
Yeah. So last question there, has prices gone up? They have gone up a little.
Mm-hmm.
They've gone up. If you look at our old videos, you'll notice the prices are a little bit cheaper. Miss you too, Maurice.
Miss you, Maurice.
Next time we're in New York, we got to go back out and get lunch again.
We do. Oh, we had the best walk with Maurice. He took us on his break walk, and we went to a diner and had the most delicious meal. I had this amazing French toast. It was so good. Anyways, we miss you, Maurice. We'll see you next time we're in New York or Boston.
Thank you to everybody who's watched this live, and all of you watching it on the replay later on. It is really good to be back. We're going to try to keep doing these more regularly now that we're kind of settled in one place and we have an actual apartment type style. We were in a hotel in Tokyo. It was really small.
A lot trickier to
hard
do
to
there.
do. So good night from us. Good morning probably for you. And we will be seeing you soon, right?
All right. We'll see you guys. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks.